Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. It's time for another nervous guide. If you can't tell by the title and also the fact that I'm wearing blue, because blue is kind of everywhere at this show, we're going to do the nervous guide to Mrs Doubtfire the Musical. So if you want to know everything that you need to know about this show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. I finally got round to seeing this show. It's been on my list for a while and I just hadn't had the chance to go and see it previously, but we're here to talk about all things Nervous Guide and Mrs Doubtfire. If you don't know what a Nervous Guide is, basically it's one of the 2 videos I do for every single show that I try and see, or I try and do for every show that I see. Reverse it. The Nervous Guide is basically a one-stop shop to anything you need to know about content and sensory warnings, but also about the theatre itself, anything that I experienced in regards to seating, view, toilets, anything, everything, all wrapped up into a nice neat bow. Basically, it's my experience seeing the show and also any warnings you need to know. Why didn't I just say that before? That is much snappier. But let's get into it. We're talking Mrs Doubtfire, and like I said, it has been on my list to see for a while, pretty much since it came into the Shaftebury Theatre. And then I kind of knew it was there but forgot about it. I had 2 friends that went to see it and sort of said it was really fun to go and watch, and then that brought it back to me that I need to go and see it, but then I forgot. And then they announced its closure. It is closing on the 26th of April, not very long left. And I was like, right, I'm just gonna do it. I have time to spare, I'm gonna book a ticket, I'm gonna go and see the show, and I did. So let's first talk about experience, let's talk about running times, etc. So the running time of this show, I'm on Teletic in case you're wondering why I'm looking down, is 2 hours 30 including an interval. It is very fast paced, you don't have time to think. I don't think I really checked my watch throughout the show, which is always a bonus. If I look at a watch during the show to try and work out how long I got left, I feel like that is kind of a negative point for a show, and I didn't look at all during the show, so I can't confirm nor deny whether 2 hours 30 is completely correct, but about that area is about right. The guidance on Statix is for 7+. There is a few moments of language, juicy language, but it's not like swear word, swear word, swear word, but there is a few sprinkled in. In my audience, which was a Saturday matinee audience, there was a decent amount of children in it, and it's not like a oh my goodness, but there are a few moments of language, just so you're aware. Seat wise, we were sat in the top circle, which is the grand circle. I was sat in C13. The ticket was technically £65, but I paid £58.50 for it because I am a gold member on Statix, toss, so I got 10% off. I don't normally say the prices in these videos, but I thought I'd just let you know as I'm on the email for it. The grand circle at the Shaftebury feels high up, but in regards to other theatres I've been in, it's not like the tallest of the tall. C13 is also pretty close to the Grand Circle toilets, which in order to get to them, first you need to get to the Grand Circle, who has their own set of stairs. Very ingenious. I don't think I've ever been higher than the stalls in the Shaftebury before, but when you step in, you are at street level. Once you've shown your tickets, you either go down to the stalls or you go along past the merch to another member of front of house staff who ask where you're going. Upon me saying that we're in the Grand Circle, we were directed to the left and up a set of stairs. If you are the middle circle, I'd call it the dress, but I don't know if it's called the dress. In the Shaftebury, you go kind of straight on or right to a different set of stairs. They kind of do that motion, I think. So we basically got our own set of stairs to the top circle, the Grand Circle, and then the toilets are in the auditorium as such, but they are in the bottom corner. The toilets were clean, the toilets were decent, and they were, for theatre toilets, relatively spacious. You can't get that every day. The view was pretty decent as well. The ticket was technically a restricted view ticket, and that is basically because there is one safety rail in view. Really doesn't cut anything off. As always, I'll try and give like a picture of my view for you to look at, but there is really no problem with sight lines with that bar being there, so I truly can say in that regard it's a decent seat. Also on seat plan, it did suggest that it wasn't the best legroom seat. However, I didn't have a problem. The seat row in front, the row of seats in front, should I say, doesn't cut off circulation like it has in some theatres I've been in the past. I feel like the row in front's kind of cut off at ankle level on me, so there was much room to move around. I was also on the aisle, so I could stretch out that way, but I didn't feel like I really needed to. The person behind me did, and his foot kept dangling my eye view, but that is a story for a different day. But yeah, legroom was pretty decent. Hip room also didn't really have a problem with, and sight lines were also pretty great as well. So seat wise, I can have no qualms. Moving on to the last thing that we need to talk about, and that is the content and sensory warning element. Content wise, if you've seen the film, you kind of know what you're going to expect at all times. Like I said, there's a little bit of slightly fruity language, but it's not like F this, F that, other swear words, insert here. There's a few moments, but they kind of pass quite quickly, and yeah, nothing really major on the content front for me to discuss. And sensory wise, for me personally, and I feel I should say this in every video I do, that I never do, my big kickers, if you will, the things that affect me the most are bright / flashing lights, especially if they're into the auditorium, loud noises, and visible weaponry / guns. They are my kind of things I keep an eye out for, and I sat through the whole of Act 1. I was like, okay, I'm not going to have anything to say in regards to sensory stuff in this video. Sat through pretty much all of Act 2. One moment happened in the last song. If you've never seen the film, this is a small spoiler, but at the end of the show, the person, Daniel, is now Mrs Doubtfire as part of a TV show, and the last moments are the whole family celebrating his success as Mrs Doubtfire in this TV show. The children come on, Daniel's children come on to the set, and everyone starts singing yay, happy ending, we're all happy, and 2 small confetti cannons get fired from pretty much the back of the set of Mrs Doubtfire's show, but because they were relatively loud and quite unexpected, I did jump. That's the only moment that affected me in any way. So yeah, pretty easy breezy sensory for me, which is always a bonus. And there we have it. I should probably check my notes at this point just to make sure that I haven't missed anything, but I think that's basically everything I had. Yeah, I've put a blackout to end Act 1 and technically to end Act 2, but they aren't sudden ones, it just the lights go down so that the cast can get off the stage, and the confetti cannons at the end of the show. Quite an easy breezy show in regards to sensory warnings and content warnings. Yay! We like that sometimes. But there we are, that is pretty much that. Everything that I need to say has been said, so I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, tell your friends, why not? But all that's left to say as usual, and that is thank you very much, love you all lots, and finally, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. I didn't know the hand signals. Bye.